everyone, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. It is that time of year again. It's time to start a new yearly cycle of bullet journaling. So grab your notebooks, your pens, and a nice cup of tea because we are planning and setting up our January 2019, need to remember to say 2019, not 2018, bullet journals. It's a fresh start and a brand new year, and I already have some fun ideas of things that I want to experiment with my 2019 bullet journal, so I'm excited to get into all of that with you guys. But before we do, I'd like to quickly thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. Whether you need a domain, a website, or an online store, Squarespace should be your go-to. They are awesome, and I'll talk a little bit more about them later in the video. We should probably start planning. By the way, if you haven't seen, I did post my 2019 bullet journal setup video, so I'll link that down below for you guys to check out. Without further ado, let's hop right into my January 2019 plan with me. Okay, so for January 2019, you guys wanted to see me do a lantern theme. I asked for January theme ideas over on my community tab page, and lanterns was by far the most thumbs up suggestion, so I thought I would do it for you guys. Plus, I was really excited to do this theme because it's actually Lunar New Year coming up, so the lanterns I thought would be perfect. So I decided to draw all of these lanterns hanging from various strings, completely filling up the page, almost as if you were looking up and you just saw a ceiling full of lanterns. I actually had a bunch of inspo pics from actual Lunar New Year festival celebrations, and my favorite pictures were the ones where the lanterns just filled the whole streets or the whole ceiling, because I feel like it just looks really, really magical. And these lanterns were actually pretty simple to draw. Essentially, you just draw any sort of rounded object, whether it be a circle or a rounded oval, and then you just fill it in with a bunch of horizontal lines and a couple of vertical lines to make it look like it's folded up. And then you can add whatever tassel-y designs you want at the end of the lanterns. I also threw in a couple of these accordion style lanterns, but I had so much fun playing around with all the different designs and the tassel designs, and I think it came together really nicely. So in terms of the color palette, this is something I wanted to talk about because when I was doing this, I got so engrossed in drawing all of the lanterns, and I was really excited about this Lunar New Year theme that I didn't realize that the color palette was going to end up looking very similar to my December bullet journal. I ended up going for the classic red because I thought, you know, Lunar New Year, red, it kind of goes together, at least in Chinese culture. I'm Chinese, just in case any of you didn't know, and in our culture, red is a very lucky color, and that's why you see a lot of it during Lunar New Year. So that's why I immediately went for the red, and I didn't realize that it was going to end up looking very similar to my December bullet journal, so sorry for doing so many hanging red objects recently. I didn't mean to. Next month, I'll try not to do a hanging red object theme. But in hindsight, I probably could have done whatever color I wanted for these lanterns because lanterns come in all colors and designs, so even if you don't celebrate Lunar New Year, you can just change up the color of the lanterns, and I think it would look pretty cute as well. Yellow would be a cute color because then it would look like they're glowing. You can do multiple colors so they look like summer lanterns. Really, the sky's the limit, and I probably would have changed up the colors had I realized that I had just done a red hanging object theme, but you know what? By the time I realized, I already really liked the design and I was in way too deep to change it up. Anyway, so as you can see, I'm filling in all of the lanterns with the aforementioned red color. This red is a bit more of a bright red compared to December's, actually. That's the one thing that's different. It's very true red instead of the burgundy that I did last month. And I also threw in this light sand taupe color. And what I think brings the whole thing together is the use of the black. So I used a lot of black for the tops and the bottoms of the lanterns, and I also threw in a couple hanging beads all around it to bring it all together. So for the page next to it, I decided to do a little quote to start off the new year. You guys know I love doing these quote pages. So I drew a couple more hanging lanterns from the top of the page, colored those ones in, and then I wrote out the quote, "And so the adventure begins." Since it's the very beginning of the year, I thought it would be the perfect quote. When I was doing these lanterns later on, I realized that I could add in the white gel pen on top as like an accent. So you'll see me go back in to the cover page as well as this page with the white gel pen to throw in a couple accent colors and a couple of designs. And I also utilized the white gel pen in the lettering, which was a very big theme in my 2019 bullet journal setup. If you guys did watch my 2019 bullet journal setup, then you would know that I did a lot of black and white designs. So I thought I would transition that black and white into the January theme a little bit. So I really did use the black and the white gel pen a lot throughout this whole entire video as well. Oh, another thing that I really liked doing on these lanterns was this sort of scalloped design. I feel like it gives it a very Lunar New Year feel. Again, you don't have to add those designs in if you don't want to go for the Lunar New Year theme, but I thought it was a nice little accent. Okay, so for the next page, which is my monthly log, of course, I gotta draw my calendar. These boxes are 5 by 5, which is slightly smaller than normal. That's just because January is a bit more of a chill month. I don't need as much planning space. Plus, I wanted to leave a lot of space all around the calendar for me to draw my hanging lanterns. I was feeling very doodly this month, so you'll see me doodle quite a lot. So of course, to fill in all of the empty space, I drew all of the hanging lanterns, and to start these doodles and kind of map it out, I used my pencil just to make sure that everything was in the right placement. And I also started out with a base wire line. You'll see those crisscross lines at the top are where the lanterns are hanging from. And I just filled in the rest of the spread. So in the bottom left corner, I have my YouTube growth tracker, and I actually realized that the YouTube play button, it resembles the shape of a lantern, so I just turned it into a lantern. Just a cute little detail I thought I would point out there. In case you're wondering what specific markers I'm using, I'm gonna link them all down below, but the red marker that I chose for this month was the Artline Sticks red marker. I just really liked the tone of it. Again, it was like a brighter red, but not too bright, but then also not too deep. The black pen that I used was the Tombow Fudenosuke. I also used my Sakura Pigma Microns, and this taupe color was a Crayola Super Tips. Again, I'll link it all down below in case I forgot something. You guys know me, I can't resist a good drop shadow, and someone said in the comments of my 2019 bullet journal setup video that 2019 was going to be the year of the drop shadow, and I think that person was definitely correct. I couldn't stop adding drop shadows to all of my layouts this month, and I just really like the way it makes things pop, so get ready to see a lot more drop shadows in 2019. Alright, so for my mood tracker, I had this really fun idea to draw a big hanging lantern, and then in each of these segments is what you're going to color in to track your mood, so I numbered them all off, and then I have a little legend at the bottom to show what colors mean what mood, and then by the end of it, it'll all be filled in with various different colors. I did a little tester to show you guys what it would look like, and I'm really excited to see how it looks like at the very end. I feel like it's gonna look like a really beautiful mosaic lantern. Next to it, I have my habit trackers, of course. I'm just drawing out all of the little boxes with drop shadows, and each box symbolizes a different habit. I love separating out my habit trackers into individual ones. They are way more effective in my opinion. And then I had a little bit of empty space at the top, so I drew some more lanterns. Unfortunately, I haven't yet gotten a stamping block for my little monthly stamp, so I did have to write out all of the numbers myself. I should get around to getting that stamping block because then I can actually use it in these habit trackers and I won't need to write out all of the numbers. But for now, I have to deal with the hand cramps myself. The different habits that I'm tracking are things like working out, eating healthy, watering my plants, flossing, that type of stuff. And then on each day, I'll probably use my red marker to color in a little circle over each day that I actually do that specific habit. This next spread is my brain dump page, and it is exactly what the title suggests. It's a page for me to dump out whatever thoughts or things that I have in my mind, any ideas, lists, notes. I did actually take a break from making these brain dump pages for a while there because I didn't have a use for it. But last month, I actually really utilized a lot of these just empty journaling spreads, and it was really helpful for me, especially during Amanda Claus because things were so busy. And so would highly recommend just having kind of this monthly landing page as a place for you to just, let go. I didn't add any dividing lines or sections or headers because I will figure those out as I go along and as I use this brain dump page for the month and see where it takes me. The last spread that I'm showing you guys today is my first weekly spread of January. I can't believe this is the first weekly spread of 2019. A lot of pressure, but I thought it would be perfect to put the numbers of the days on the lantern so I have them all hanging across the top, and then each day has its own vertical column. I know that a lot of you guys are starting bullet journaling for the very first time this year, so if you are starting out fresh and you're completely new to this, I would highly recommend starting out with something simple. I talk a little bit more about that in my 2019 bullet journal setup, but I really think that that's the best way for you to keep up with it and for you to get used to this system. So try not to feel overwhelmed with all of this extra stuff when you're first starting it out. You can do something as simple as just writing out the days and then putting a list right under it. As spreads go, other than the doodly stuff at the top of this spread, it's pretty simple. I just have the days of the week across the top and then a line to split up my events and my tasks. Alright guys, so I'll show you guys the final flip through right after I quickly talk a little bit about this week's sponsor. Alright guys, before we get into your recreations, I'd like to quickly take this time to talk a bit about Squarespace. Squarespace makes it super easy for you to make a beautiful, professional looking website, whether you need a portfolio, an online store to sell your products, whatever you need, they got you covered. They have a ton of beautiful designer templates that you can customize to your needs, and with their all-in-one platform, there's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. It's very user-friendly, but should you ever need any help with your website or transferring a domain, they have award-winning 24/7 customer service to help you out, which is so great. So if you guys want to try out Squarespace for yourself and see all of their great features, head to squarespace.com/AmandaRachLee for a free trial and for 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Alright, here's the final flip through of my January 2019 bullet journal setup. I hope you guys enjoyed this Lunar New Year lantern theme. I actually really love the way that this turned out, and I think it's the perfect way to start off this fresh new bullet journal. So as usual, it's time to showcase some of your recreations from last month, which was December. Look at them over here. Look at how beautiful they are. If you guys decide to recreate any of this month's spreads, please tag me on Instagram at AmandaRachLee. I always love to see them, so can't wait to see what you guys whip up there. I should probably wrap things up now, so if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click that bell button down below so you never miss more videos like this one from me. Keep doodling, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye everyone!